This is Chris Long, and welcome to the Lakeview Cottage Kids Podcast. And I'm the designer and owner of Lakeview Cottage Kids. And I just want to tell you, too, that besides being able to reach me here on the podcast, you can also find me at my blog, lakeviewcottagekids.com. Also on my Facebook page, Lakeview Cottage Kids, my Facebook group, Lakeview Cottage Kids Crochet Group, Instagram at Lakeview Cottage Kids. I think there's a theme here. And I'd love to have you check in with me and give me your suggestions and your comments as we go along. Welcome to episode number 2. And if you hear some shaking sometimes, that's my friend Sebastian, our black lab, who's assisting me here at the podcast. And you'll see some pictures of him periodically. But he's next to me right now and down here on the floor. He's 15 and a very nice boy. Today, on the second episode of Lakeview Cottage Kids, I'd like to focus in on, last week my focus was more organization, and I'm hoping to keep organized. I'm doing a pretty good job this week. But this week I want to focus in on something that's going to be a theme also throughout this entire year. And it's an interesting concept, which I think certainly myself and I think all of you have a general idea about, but I found a term that kind of describes this particular feeling. And this one is called Huga. And sometimes I see it pronounced Huga, but it's a Danish term spelled Hygge. And it is a term that is defined as a feeling of well-being and contentment and happiness and joy in what you're doing and the people and the places that you have around you. And we all look for that, but the Danish have come up with this word that I think is really, really kind of comforting to know that you can kind of be real intent on finding what gives you joy and what gives you happiness. And interestingly enough, crochet and knitting fit right into that. So we're going to talk about that and a lot more things that get us into the Huga frame of mind. Now, this frame of mind for this concept called Huga kind of got into my whole thought process because I ran into some books here in Door County as we drove around to different shops and stores, and I found some books that I thought were just excellent. And it kind of gave me the definition, the ideas, and the things that would get me started thinking more intently on this particular thing. The first book that I found, and this one is called The Joy of Huga, and you can see how it's spelled. And first of all, I liked all the pictures that were around the edges of this book cover. But it's a wonderful book that gives you kind of the background of this idea and then gives you suggestions as to how to put this into your life. And I will have this in my Amazon shop on my blog so that you can find this at Amazon and order one for yourself. I don't have any kind of connection to this author, but if you do order from my Amazon shop, I do make a little bit of money by things that are ordered there, but it doesn't add anything to the price that you would pay. And so don't look at this as an advertisement as such. It's just something that I keep a collection of things that I like, and then I want to recommend to people as they go along, whether it's crochet tools and yarns and things on that order, or in this case, it's a book. But anyway, this is called The Joy of Huga, and it's by Johnny Jackson and Elias Larson. Super quick read, lots of pictures and very short pages, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Another one that is the same kind of idea, not many pictures, but really a lot of good information, and this one's called Huga, Discovering the Danish Art of Happiness. And this one again is available in my Amazon shop on my blog, and I highly suggest it. Just the whole picture of this one, even though there aren't many pictures in the book, it's mostly just writing, but it just makes you feel content and kind of happy. And as I mentioned, the whole thought of this idea is to feel a total happiness, a contentment, a joy of living by the places that you're in, the things that you do, and the people that you surround yourself with. So those are some books that I think can help you get into this thought. Now, as I look down, bear with me. I don't want to forget anything, so I wrote some notes down for this. Uh, as I mentioned, I was excited about Huga because it was a title that was given to something that we all look for. And you might call it contentment, you might call it happiness in your life, but it all fits together for things that we all look for. And I mentioned last week that I was a family consumer ed / home ec teacher. Well, I look at that whole career as being an example of looking for Huga. It's a whole situation of having the family as your focus, creating an environment in your home that is welcoming and satisfying and comfortable, and a place where you and your family want to settle in. Huga includes things like activities. What kind of things do you want to do? What kind of music do you want playing in your home? What kind of feel does that give? What kind of smells do you want in your home? Whether that comes from a candle or potpourri or from scents that you can buy from online or in-person vendors that are just selling things like scents. What kind do you want? Do you like cloves and cinnamon? Do you like apple pie? Do you like sugar cookies? All the different things that make you feel comfortable, make you have memories of wonderful times in your life. So scents and things that you look at, things that you feel. And as far as the things that you feel and look at, this is where crochet comes in, because blankets and throws and pillows and cushions and things that like place settings, tablescapes, things that you add to make things look pretty and comfortable, mug rugs and cup cozies and dishcloths even, things like that make your house comfortable and makes it feel so fun. In addition to all of the different accessories and clothing that you have and you can make with crochet, as far as all the garments and the scarves and the hats and the mittens and cowls and all of those types of things. So that certainly fits in. As far as smells and look and a feeling of comfort, food and cooking, all of the different things that are so comforting. And that's where I add in my recipes, which I want to tell you about later on. But things that banana breads and soups and yeast breads and things like that not only is the final product wonderful, tastes good, smells up the house to make it so great, but it's also the process. We always talked when I was teaching, and I taught particular yeast bread classes to adults also in the vocational schools. When I found out about that I was going to be teaching, I always wanted to tell the people, if you are making yeast breads, it's a good thing to take out your stress, because when you're kneading by hand on a recipe for yeast bread of any type, you are really putting in some energy to do that. And the final product is so great. And it's so comforting to have with cup of cider, hot chocolate, use the jam that you've made possibly, and have it with the people that you love, or just by yourself. So the foods, I'm going to be mentioning lots of recipes because they make us feel so happy. They're a source of sustenance, certainly, but the foods that we choose and the way that we make them and get them are a huge part of the whole Huga type of contentment and joy of just living. So look for the recipes and we'll get some each week. I also wanted to mention things that are within your house. And again, this doesn't really fit into crochet, although it can, because we can make all kinds of crochet pot covers and things that go along with our house plants, as far as mats for putting the pots onto and things like that. But I think house plants are great. Not only do they help to purify the air, they look beautiful. And so if you have house plants, but also bringing in fresh flowers. And I know, again, I'm excited, I'm jumping for joy because I love gardening and I love being outside in my flower gardens. It just gives me a feeling of contentment, of satisfaction, of productivity, and just the beauty of it. So you'll see lots of pictures of my plants, and I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures of your gardens. One thing too, as far as the feeling of comfort and contentment. Uh, the whole Huga concept is always talking about a fireplace or candles or an outside bonfire. And not all of us can do that. But if you can, it just kind of always adds to that atmosphere. And I know in my house, I have a natural fireplace and a gas fireplace, and I love sitting next to that in my cushy chair with my hot chocolate or my tea. And we're in Door County right now, and at our apartment, I don't have a regular fireplace, but you can, for not very expensive, you can get the electric fireplaces that give you the same idea. I'm going to give you a picture of what mine looks like, and it was wonderful last night sitting next to that. I still have some of my Christmas decorations up, and I probably will for a few weeks yet. Just a few things like garlands on the mantle and a few twinkle lights here and there. So again, the fireplace, the candles, all of that gives you kind of a feeling of contentment and satisfaction. Again, safety is always important, and that's why electric fireplaces and electric candles and things can give you kind of the same idea, but without having to worry about the actual flames. So a lot of these things, again, keep in mind the safety portion, but the atmosphere that it creates is so beautiful, and you just have to pay attention, like with anything. Um, I wanted to talk about, again, coming back to what you've put into your life. And of course, all of us have our occupations, our careers, and things that we go to. And hopefully, what you go to is something that you love and you enjoy. Um, it's something I always loved going to my work. I was an educator throughout my entire life. And again, the education topic that I chose was something that it embodies this whole Huga situation, from the baking to the sewing to the crocheting to the interior design to the relationships classes, whether it be family relationships or child development. And it was just an enjoyable job to go to. And at night, I included teaching at vocational schools. And in my retirement, I've included that too, along with teaching at universities in the crochet and knitting classes. But also, as part of this whole concept, is the activities that you choose to engage in your free time outside. And again, as your grandmother and your mother probably always told you, go out and get some fresh air. It's not a thing to take lightly. It really is a good idea. And every week, I think I'm going to mention a few things that I'm doing with my husband and in our family that helps to kind of make you appreciate your environment. One thing that's going to be coming up, and I'll have pictures next week, is that as part of my Christmas present, my husband signed us up for a lovely experience here in Door County where we will be taking a sleigh ride, and then we'll be going through as part of the sleigh ride, we will end up at a winery, and then we'll have lunch at a local restaurant that's really nice. And the whole thing is something that you're outdoors, you're enjoying this with your husband, in my case, and going to places and participating in activities that are just so lovely. So I'll have some commentary on that next week, and I'll have some pictures to show you about that. But whether it's a sleigh ride or a walk outside or going skiing or sitting next to a bonfire outside or any of those types of things, it's worth it. If it's summer in your area, just going for a walk, we live in an area where we can walk around our lake. We can go outside here in Door County and walk along the bay of Sturgeon Bay. It's beautiful. And so it just kind of buoys you up and makes it possible for you to deal with the rest of your struggles in life. So if you can find something like that, it's just great. I mentioned recipes that can give you such a feeling of satisfaction. And I know in such a busy world, many times we stop at a restaurant, we pick something up quick, we throw a frozen pizza in the oven. But if you do have the time and you can take a moment and make a quick bread, yeast bread certainly takes a lot more. If you can make your own jam, you don't have to. You can certainly purchase that from the grocery store or other vendors that come to farmers markets and things like that. But if you can do it, you not only have a sense of pride and you really enjoy what you've made, but it's just giving you more of that kind of joy. The process is as fun or as just lovely as the final product. Some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, as I said, throughout these podcasts are at the end. And again, these podcasts aren't going to be taken up by all kinds of things other than crochet. But I wanted to just set the tone because many of the things I choose to crochet and knit are things that figure into this whole concept of the contentment and the joy and the happiness of life. And I wanted to just mention some of the things that I like to do to some of the things I like to make that just make me feel happy. First of all, hot chocolate is like really a big thing in my life. I love that. I love sitting down in my favorite chair, wrapping up in my most recent throw or Afghan, reading a book, sitting down with my computer if that's what it is that I need to get something done, and then sitting there just enjoying the company of the people in my family. If you have a fireplace or have something on like candles lit, it kind of just gives a fun, relaxing atmosphere. Some of the other things that I love to do are making cookies. I love fruit cobblers and fruit crumbles. I'll be making one and giving you a recipe for that. I love doing things like, as I mentioned, soups. And today I want to mention that the recipe that I will be including here in my blog is a link to that in my blog, and it will be Muligatani Soup. If you've never had it before, it's kind of a takeoff on a vegetable soup, and this one has chicken added. My Muligatani Soup I got from a class I took probably 30 years ago at a vocational school, and it was all about buffets and dinners, and part of one of the menu items was a recipe for Muligatani Soup. It has chicken, or you can use leftover turkey. You can start with leftover chicken, whatever kind of cooked chicken that you have, and it's mixed into a roux, and then you have all kinds of chicken stock, vegetables, things like green peppers, carrots, love the carrots, onions, tomatoes, and I think the best part about this is that you put in apples. And the apples kind of cook and then kind of break up and dissolve and gives a sweetness to the soup that is just outstanding. So anyway, it is a lovely recipe, and I will be including it in my blog. It's not there just at the moment, but it will be coming in the next few days. Reason being, I'm at my home in Door County, and of course I do not have the recipe for that right with me, but it'll be coming. Some other things that I just love are fondues. And if you've never done one of those before, you need to have some time, especially if you're going to do a meat fondue. But if you do a cheese fondue or a chocolate fondue, it can be all ready to go. And it is the most fun for your family to get involved with. You're sitting there doing your fondue, having all of your different chocolate, and talking and having a great time. And it's really, really a fun thing to make. It's much more than just having something to eat. So those are some of the recipes that I think you'll be looking forward to. I certainly will. Part of the whole Huga concept is not only being with friends and family, but also crafting and making things for the people that you love and the people that are around you. And those can be very involved projects, as we know crochet can be, but they can also be very simple. And so what I will be doing is including in my blog is a pattern for just the simple washcloth or simple dishcloth that you can turn into a lovely gift. First of all, it's nice for you, but it's also a lovely gift when you can package 2 or 3 together with a beautiful ribbon. I'll show that in just a few minutes. And putting that together and just surprising a friend as a hostess gift, as part of a birthday present, or just something just for no reason at all. It's just a fun thing. The actual crochet pattern that I'm going to provide on my blog is as simple as it can be. And I will be showing how to make it in a video, but if you are a beginner, but it's the easiest thing. I just want to go through some of the supplies right now. Number one, what I made my washcloths or dishcloths out of is 100% cotton. I think that's your best bet. And there are a number of brands that you can get, but the one that I want to show you right here is called Peaches and Cream, and it's from Yarnspirations. And you can get almost two of the size dishcloths that I make out of one skein. Now, if you make them a little bit smaller, you'll for sure get two. And what I think I'll do is probably adjust my pattern a little bit so that for sure you can get two out of these. I make them using an H hook and using, as I said, this cotton, 100% cotton, Peaches and Cream. It's a number 4 weight cotton yarn, and it works beautifully. If you are a beginner, I would get a light color such as this pink, or a yellow or a white, something that you can easily see your stitches. If you're beyond a beginner, you can get the variegated or the darker colors and whatever would match a person's kitchen. It's using the H hook, the number 4 cotton yarn, and it is a single crochet. And the pattern that I suggest is doing 26 chains and do single crochet back and forth until you have 30 rows. Now, as I said, that gets you, it gets you to, instead of 30 rows, gets you to about 28 and a half. So what I think I'm going to do is adjust the pattern that I write up to about 28 rows. And that way you for sure can get two of the dishcloths out of one of these skeins of the Peaches and Cream yarn. But what a beautiful gift. What a lovely, thoughtful hostess gift, part of a birthday gift, a thank you gift. And it just makes you feel good. And it makes the recipient feel good too. So that's something that I've been working on. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of examples of how you can put those together as a gift. And I think you'll really want to make them. And if you're a beginner, you'll probably end up making dishcloths for everybody you know, which works out fine too. They'll love it. I wanted to take just a few minutes to show you what this project looks like when you do 30 rows of single crochet using your H hook and the Peaches and Cream cotton yarn. This turns out to be your dishcloth or your washcloth, and it's very quick to make if you're a veteran crocheter. And even if you're a beginner, it goes really quick, and it's a lot of good repetition for stitch sizes, stitch evenness, and trying to keep the side of your project straight. So it's a wonderful practice project. This is why you see so many beginner classes having you make these. A lot of people say, why does everyone make dishcloths? Well, because you have something nice at the end, and also it's very good practice with something that doesn't take a long time. So this is what it looks like with the single crochet. And I mentioned giving it as a gift, a hostess gift or a birthday gift or just it's Wednesday gift. And I want to show you some things that I've made up just with different colors. These are single crochet. Bring it into the picture here. And I picked yellow and pink and white again. And then with the lavender bow, looks kind of pinky lavender here. And what a lovely thing for a spring gift or a Valentine's Day gift. And give you just a nice warm feeling inside. So this is one combination of colors. And then two other examples. This one is the pure white and the lavender, and then the white with the yellow bow. But you can do whatever you would like. And if you want to put a little sprig of something in there, or a fresh flower or a silk flower or something in with the ribbon, it works out great. So anyway, those are examples. Those are this week's project that I wanted to show you. And I also wanted to remind everybody that there are blog hops going on right now. And over at Eclair Makery, there is the winter fashion blog hop that's happening until the 31st. And she's offering beautiful free patterns each day with the coupon code or you can get the bundle, which is a great deal. And yesterday was my day for my featured free pattern, but I'm part of the bundle. So if you wanted to take a look, and it's my shades of lavender scarf, and everybody really liked it. So you may want to check that out. Also going on till the 31st of January is the New Year's resolution blog hop over at Cozy Rosie UK. And again, with coupon code, you can definitely get a free pattern each day of the featured pattern. And there's a bundle for that. And then starting on January 10th was the beginning of the Crochet for Me blog hop. Again, I have a featured pattern coming up too. And it is going until the 24th. So again, check those out if you're looking for some very cool patterns and some really good deals on some nice patterns too. Well, I think that finishes up what we're doing for this week. And I hope you are having a good week. I hope you are finding happiness and joy in your crochet and in your life in general. And if you have ideas for how you find contentment and joy, I really would like to hear about that. And I'd love to see your dishcloth projects and how you're presenting them as gifts, what kind of ribbon you use, how you present them to make them look so pretty and cute. So if you want to do that, you can put them in the comments here, send them an email, put them up, tag me in Facebook or Instagram with Lakeview Cottage Kids, and we'd love to see them. So that's it for this week. Enjoy your week. Next week I'll have all kinds of things to show you. I will be having the new recipe up on my blog in the near future, and I'll also have lots of things to tell you all about my sleigh ride next week. Okay, take care. Stay cozy.